Writing isn't just about putting words on paper. It's about capturing ideas, refining your thoughts, and bringing creativity to life. But what if I told you there's a simple habit that can help you write with more ease and confidence? That's where journaling comes in. In my last video, I talked about how journaling builds clarity, creativity, and this unstoppable writing flow. Plus, I shared a powerful lesson from James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, which shows you how you can apply habit stacking to your life. I covered 4 of what I considered the top 9 reasons why journaling leads to great writing. And today we'll explore 5 more ways that journaling can elevate your writing. Then later I'll reveal the scientific research that explains why it works. But first, I just want to share that during the week, I received some really heartfelt messages from a good friend who watched my last video and how it moved her to write some of the aha moments that she got from that on her fridge. She had admitted to struggling to focus and to quiet her mind. And I indicated that maybe journaling would be exactly the thing that could help her do this. To sort out those thoughts and allow herself to be vulnerable in these safe confines of journaling, which is a private practice for yourself. Now, I'm not going to give her a shout out because when she watches this video, she'll know I'm talking about her, and what we shared was very, personal. But I'm so thankful that my video sparked that conversation, because as I texted to her, this is exactly why I make these videos. Sure, they're about writing, which is obviously my passion, but it's bigger than that. It's about connecting with people in a way that touches their heart, that maybe brings them some comfort and some peace, and maybe helps them learn something about themselves and what they truly want out of life. And sometimes writing is the vehicle to do that. But I always try to give some kind of heartfelt message through my videos. So I'm really pleased that that touched her deeply, and that she's thinking about how she can apply maybe something like the act of journaling to her life. And then in the Facebook group, I noticed a comment from Carol, who I mentioned in my last video. She shared how journaling is such a powerful tool for her, and she journals every morning. 3 pages of thoughts. She talks about clearing her mind so that creativity can flow. And as she indicated, some days she says it's total nonsense, or what I like to call free-flowing ramblings. Other days she uses this regular writing practice to interpret her dreams and her emotions. But what really stood out to me from her comment was that there was this beauty in the consistency and her love of the process. So I really appreciate you, Carol, for sharing that. And I love your take on journaling and how it's become such a regular, like a non-negotiable practice for you that you just love. I'm sure others will relate to this. So what I really love about our Facebook group is how we all bring these different approaches to writing, and yet there's this shared appreciation of the creative process. Seeing posts like Carol's reminds me of how much we can learn from each other, and how writing in all forms connects us. So if you're interested in joining, it's free. And I always include the link to the Facebook group in the video description. We would love to see you in there. And yeah, you can be as involved as you like. So now we're going to turn our attention to the reasons why journaling leads to great writing. Let's have a quick recap of the first 4 that I covered in the last video. Number 1, journaling builds consistency. The best writers don't wait for inspiration, they practice regularly. Journaling helps build that habit by making writing second nature. Number 2, journaling enhances creativity. It's your creative playground, a safe space for you to experiment with different styles and tones and ideas without any pressure. Number 3, journaling improves clarity of thought. Writing forces you to structure your ideas. It makes it easier to articulate bigger ideas into bigger projects like writing a book. Number 4, journaling strengthens vocabulary and grammar. Through consistent practice, journaling helps refine sentence structure, expand your vocabulary, and develop a natural writing voice. And now we get to continue on my list of reasons why journaling leads to great writing. Number 5, journaling encourages reflection and self-awareness. Journaling is such a powerful tool for self-discovery, and that deeper understanding of oneself is the foundation of great writing, in my opinion. The more we explore our thoughts and emotions, the more authentic and compelling our story writing becomes. Even Shakespeare, arguably the greatest writer to ever walk the earth, captured this essence through his character Polonius in Hamlet, who famously said, "To thine own self be true." This quote speaks to honesty and integrity, staying true to one's values and convictions. And that same principle applies to writing. The strongest storytelling comes from from a place of authenticity. So when writers embrace their unique perspectives, their experiences, those deep emotions that they feel, journaling helps us to tap into to that honest place within ourselves. And it allows us to write with a sense of depth and sincerity. It makes our words more powerful and relatable. So our writing naturally becomes richer, and by default, it connects with others. And that's what we all want as writers. We want to create that connection. So Carol's reflection on her daily writing practice really highlighted this. Some days, as she said, it's just like clearing mental clutter. Other days, she's making sense of her dreams and emotions. But that process of consistent self-reflection builds emotional intelligence and improves a writer's ability to convey depth, sincerity, and nuance that's required in storytelling, whether you're writing fiction like Carol does or nonfiction like myself. So in the last video, I shared my conversation with Deirdre, and this is exactly the point that we were making, that journaling strengthens both the writer and the person behind the words. And that's why sharing different approaches to writing in our community on the Facebook group, the Authentic Author Academy, is so valuable, because we're not just refining our craft, we are uncovering something deeper about ourselves, within ourselves. And that's what makes this work so meaningful to me and why I create these videos. Number 6. Journaling generates new ideas and perspectives. Now, I'm sure you'd agree, journaling is one of the most effective ways to keep ideas flowing. It encourages exploration, helping writers overcome that dreaded self-doubt and uncover points of view that they may not have considered before. And so by putting thoughts on paper, whether that's in a structured way or free form or free writing, we generally generate these like new connections and insights and inspiration. So studies have shown that journaling engages the brain's prefrontal cortex, helping to organize thoughts, to process emotions, and to generate new insights. Dr. James Pennebaker's work on expressive writing, for example, found that writing about experiences enhanced mental clarity, and it fosters creative breakthroughs. Now, who doesn't want that as a writer? And some people say that they experience writer's block, but I think writing is more about engaging with the creative energy that's always present. So I've explored this idea in more depth in my writers group. I wrote a piece that challenged the belief that writer's block is even real. It was called Sunday Wisdom, the Myth of the Writer's Block. I discuss how creativity isn't something that is outside of us. It's something that naturally flows through us, especially when we let go of resistance. So journaling is one of the simplest ways to embrace that flow, and then to prove to ourselves that the words are always there within us. And if you want to see or read any of those those little segments, I guess, that I write in the Facebook group, you're always welcome to join and maybe get some insights for yourself. Number 7, journaling creates a powerful personal archive of ideas. Your journal is like this treasure trove of ideas. Maybe today's random thought becomes tomorrow's novel or screenplay. It's like keeping a vault of creativity that you can visit anytime. It's a place where what seems like fleeting insights are preserved for future exploration. The reflections, emotions, and experiences that you document right now might surprise you later and evolve into something meaningful long after you've written them down. Journaling ensures that no idea is ever lost. So it creates this collection of inspiration that grows with you over time. I have personally created entire blogs and newspaper articles from journal entries that seemed insignificant at the time, but later on revealed a deeper meaning and insight. And that's the beauty of journaling. Number 8, journaling helps writers discover their unique voice. Every great writer has a distinct style, and journaling is one of the best ways that you can refine and discover yours. So when you write regularly, especially in a personal space like a journal, you naturally start to notice patterns in your tone, word choice, and rhythm. Over time, this is what helps you to build a writing style that feels authentic and distinctive to you. So, for example, through journaling, I discovered that my style blends short and longer sentences that create a cadence and rhythm. I often lean on a well-placed em dash, a suspension point, or alliteration to elevate a sentence, which gives it more depth and meaning. I really explore the use of punctuation to do that. But above all, I strike to evoke emotion and inspire change. I always say that if my writing makes someone think, smile, or cry, then I've done my job. So, in short, every great writer has this signature voice, and journaling is one of the best ways to uncover yours. And that brings us to the final reason why I believe journaling leads to great writing. Number 9, journaling improves writing, and the science proves it. In case you needed any further convincing that journaling leads to great writing, you don't have to take my word for it. There are actual studies that show that journaling makes you a better writer. So, research suggests that journaling enhances clarity, like we've talked about, and obviously your communication skills, because it forces you to organize your thoughts, which naturally improves how well you express ideas. So the more you do this, the better you get at it. A study published in the Mind Map journal highlights how journaling improves communication by helping writers structure complex ideas more effectively. And there's also evidence that journaling boosts neuroplasticity, which has been studied at length in the last 2 decades, because once upon a time, the school of thought was that the brain couldn't rewire itself, so to speak, that if someone had encountered a brain injury or something like that, that was where their development stayed. But this is not the case. And we've learnt that through neuroplasticity, because it helps your brain strengthen connections related to memory and comprehension when you write and when you journal. So according to research from the Journal of Experimental Psychology, journaling enhances working memory and retention, making it a powerful tool for cognitive development. The Thoughtful Minds Collective explains how daily writing rewires the brain, shifting mindset and unlocking new levels of clarity. But on top of that, studies show that journaling improves emotional intelligence and creativity, like we've talked about, making it easier to craft compelling narratives that resonate with readers. The Huberman Lab has explored how expressive writing can positively impact mental health and storytelling abilities. So there you have it. 9 powerful reasons as to why journaling leads to great writing. I'm clearly a fan. Maybe you have some more reasons of your own. And if so, please share them in the comments. So whether you've been a lifelong journaler or you're someone who's new to it or would like to start, I'd love to hear your approach. I'll kick it off and say that when I journal, something unexplainable happens, and it feels like manifestations begin lining up for me. So just from the simple act of sitting down, taking a few minutes to myself and writing and just letting it flow, and to write about how I feel and what I'm thinking, it's powerful stuff. And so in the next video, I'll put my other hat on, the manifesting mentor, and I'll be talking a little bit more about this subject of manifesting, because as much as I'm very passionate about writing, my other world is studying manifesting and how we can harness those unique abilities. So for now, as a journaler or as someone who's about to start the practice of journaling, just know that you're in good company, because there are many famous writers who started with journaling to refine their thoughts and develop their craft. I think about renowned British author Virginia Woolf, who wrote that journaling loosens the ligaments of writing. In a writer's diary, she reflected on how writing for herself without concern for perfection helped her develop an ease in her professional writing. And I'm sure that's something that as writers we could all do, it to let go of that sense of perfection and trying to get it just right. In Australia, our own Kate Grenville, author of the award-winning novel The Secret River, has discussed how reflective writing and diary-like notes are part of her creative process in understanding characters and situations more deeply. And she incorporates those, I guess, in her writing, and that's what makes it so amazing, in my opinion. I'm sure she has lots of processes, but it was interesting when I was doing research for this video that I found there were quite a few famous writers who have cited journaling or diaries to help them with their writing. And in the case of another of Australia's most celebrated writers, Helen Garner, her journals became her published work in Yellow Notebook. Garner has kept diaries, she says, for most of her life, documenting her thoughts, observations, and her creative process. And so in Yellow Notebook, she invites readers into the world behind her novels and nonfiction, offering this, I guess, intimate glimpse into the mind of a writer at work, which I find absolutely fascinating. So if you want a simple way to improve your writing, start journaling. Or maybe you want to keep journaling and make it more of a regular practice. It's a no rules, no pressure space for your thoughts to unfold. And who knows, you might surprise yourself with what you create. See you in the next video. I might go and do some journaling myself.